G'day folks. I'd like to show you a pendulum clock I recently built. Ever since I was a kid during the 50s and saw a design for a wooden clock in a Popular Mechanics magazine, I wanted to build one, but I didn't have the skills at the time. And now, 65 odd years later, here I am, I've achieved it. Boy, that's a long wait. And it's dated me, obviously. But this one's 3D printed in ABS plastic, and it was a real fun project. Now, the original design was downloaded from Thingiverse, so I'm grateful to the original designer and for Thingiverse for making it available. And yeah. Now, I've modified quite a few things on this clock. One of them is the drum inside here to take a chain instead of a cord. I looked at some old roller blinds we had, and there was a chain on it. And I thought, well, that'd be a good idea. So I modified that to take the chain. I also created a magnetic clutch in here so we can adjust the time quite easily. The clutch just slips very easily. The other thing I've done is modified the anchor so that it's more easily adjustable, and the pendulum suspension. The only thing that hasn't really been modified is the frame. That's original, although I did ream the holes out to take a 2mm shafts instead of the original 1/16 inch, which proved to be a little difficult to get. And the gears have been modified a bit to take the 2mm shaft as well. It has a 1 metre long pendulum roughly, and a 1 second beat, as you can probably hear, and it keeps reasonably good time. So here's the escapement wheel and the anchor arrangement with the little pallets, which you can just see there. Well, that's one of them, which is curved, so it's essentially a deadbeat mechanism, so there's no recoil created by them on the escapement wheel. And also modified this so that it's easily centered, so we can just, this bit here slips on the anchor to make it easily adjustable. Now I've upset it, of course, and I'll have to readjust it. So that was, I thought, an improvement worthwhile. And the pendulum suspension's been modified a bit too, so the pendulum can easily be taken off. And you can just see the gear I made for the chain just here, and by winding it up you can see the ratchet assembly which allows it to wind up, and the magnetic clutch. So there's a magnet attached to this and a steel washer attached to that. Of course they attract each other, but you can move it, and that worked out quite well. Here you can see the weight. Zoom out a little bit. It looks like a solid brass cylinder, but in actual fact it's a piece of scrap PVC reticulation pipe painted gold, and it's filled with coiled up or rolled up lead sheet, and weighs, according to our kitchen scales, it weighs about 1400 grams, so 1.4 kilos. And with this weight and the pulleys, it will run for 24 hours between windings. So that was quite good. And of course, to wind it up, I just yank on this one and the thing winds up. There you can see the little pulley I designed and built for it. As I wind it up, it pulls the weight up. The PVC tube you see there has got 3D printed ends on it. The bottom one's glued in. The top one, as you can see there, has got 4 screws holding it in, so I can get it out and lighten the weight if necessary. Here's the pendulum weight. It's just 3D printed, but it has got 4 slots built into the inside it, so it can take some metal rods. I've only got 2 of the slots filled at the moment. That seemed to be enough. And it can actually slide on that square shaft you see to adjust the timing. I've stopped the clock here so you can see it. Camera wouldn't focus on the moving thing. So it's fairly lightweight. I probably should say a word about lubrication here. I found it necessary to lubricate things, the bearings, and especially the escapement wheel and pallets. I tried graphite dust, and that did work, but I found I had to apply it every 24 hours or so because it seemed to shake itself off. By far the best is silicone spray, the sort you put on curtain tracks to make them run smoothly. That's by far the best lubricant, and you only have to do it once and it seems to stay there. So just a little tip if anyone's going to build it, silicone spray. It's fairly readily available. Well, there you have it, folks. Now, is it a practical clock for everyday use? Well, if it was put in a cabinet, I reckon it probably would be. There's still a few things I would like to do to it, and I may do in time. And I'd like to build another one, actually. I've learned a lot about clocks trying to build this one. I'll put a link below in the comments to the Thingiverse download site if anyone's interested in building one of these things. And thanks for watching, folks. Catch you later.